Greetings, everyone. I am Six Path Weeb, and you've arrived at the nexus of theory and technique. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we delve deeper into a crossover of discipline and power as we explore the tactical evolution of a legend. We are continuing our narrative experiment. What if Naruko mastered Black Leg style? Part 2. Before we ignite the embers, a brief disclaimer: the content on this channel is crafted for entertainment and discussion purposes only. I do not own the anime footage featured in this video. All rights and credit belong to the original creators and copyright holders who brought these worlds to life. The stage is set, and the heat is rising. Let's begin. Is everyone in place? Over, Kakashi asked as he took his place in a tree. Pink Harpy in position. Naruko, I really wish we were doing something else. Over, Sakura sighed into her headset. King of the Brood in position. I agree with Sakura for once, Sasuke said. You could actually hear the stoic frown in his voice. Oh, you two are so serious, Naruko said with a playful giggle. The Sunny Fox is in position. Target confirmed, Sakura spoke through her headset. Ready? Kakashi asked. Move to capture. Now. The three Genin leapt toward the target. Gotcha. Naruko chirped, picking up a black cat with a pink ribbon on its right ear. Yep, it's Tora, all right. The cat wiggled and tried to squirm out of the blonde girl's grip, but Naruko hummed a soft, soothing melody and gently scratched the cat behind its ears. The cat stopped struggling and let out a tiny, soft purr. Good job, Naruko, Kakashi said. Target captured. Mission complete. I'm glad we found her, but I really hope our next mission involves helping people in a bigger way. Naruko cheered, her bright blue eyes sparkling with excitement. A few minutes later, at the village headquarters. Oh, Tora. The fire daimyo's wife cried out as she saw her pet. The cat immediately looked startled and tucked its head under Naruko's chin. On Naruko's shoulder, the little cat seemed very shy about the loud greeting. Ma'am, Naruko said softly. I think Tora is just a little bit overwhelmed. But she shouldn't be, the woman said, confused. Tora's never acted quite so shy before. Maybe, Naruko said kindly, she's just a very quiet cat who likes gentle movements. How do you usually play with her? I give her all my attention and big, tight hugs. The daimyo's wife explained. A look of realization dawned on Naruko's face. That explains it, Naruko said with a warm smile. Cats are very small, and sometimes big hugs feel a little scary to them. If you hold her gently and speak in a soft voice, she'll feel much safer and won't want to wander off as much. The entire time Naruko spoke, she was calm and polite. Sakura and Sasuke were surprised by how mature Naruko was acting. They were also impressed that she had the courage to offer advice to such an important lady. The fire daimyo's wife said. I must say, no one has ever been so thoughtful as to explain it that way to me. You are a very observant young lady. I just like making sure everyone is happy, Naruko said, beaming. Tora climbed up and sat regally on top of Naruko's head. The fire daimyo's wife slowly approached and held out her hands. This time, instead of running, the cat waited. When the woman picked her up gently and gave her a soft pat, Tora snuggled into her arms and purred loudly. Thank you, Naruko, the lady said. You've been very helpful. From now on, I'll make sure my husband knows what a capable team you have. Naruko bowed politely as the woman walked away. As she left, the cat looked over her shoulder and blinked happily at Naruko. That was impressive, Kakashi admitted. You solved that problem with kindness rather than just chasing her around. It just made sense, Naruko said. I wonder why no one ever just talked to her about it? Everyone was probably too nervous, Sakura said, smiling at her friend. Now then, the Hokage said, looking over his desk. Let's see what other tasks we have. There are several more community chores available. Grandpa, Naruko said, making the old man look up. I love helping the village, but I feel like we could be doing things that help our training too. These feel more like neighborhood chores. Naruko, these tasks help the village run smoothly, the old leader explained kindly. Naruko looked at the list: mowing a lawn, pulling weeds, delivering a package, tidying the park, and searching for a lost gardening glove. The Hokage paused, then smiled. You're right, Naruko. These are very simple chores. How do these get assigned to us anyway? Naruko asked. I'm sure there are younger students or volunteers who would love to help with these. The Hokage hummed in thought. Naruko, come with me for a moment. The rest of you, take a short break. The two headed down to the administration wing. Where are we going, Grandpa? Naruko asked. To the records department, he replied. They organize the requests. I haven't checked in on their filing system in quite a while. When they arrived and opened the door, the Hokage was surprised. Instead of a tidy office, the room was full of snacks, games, and workers who seemed to be ignoring their duties. Is everything all right in here? The Hokage asked firmly. The workers jumped, startled. One of them hurried forward. Hokage-sama. We didn't expect you. I came to see why the mission requests haven't been updated, the leader said. And I see the office is a bit disorganized. Naruko walked over to a desk where a stack of papers had fallen. As she helped pick them up, she noticed they weren't chores at all, they were letters and invitations for her. Look, Grandpa, she said, handing him the papers. The Hokage's eyes softened as he read them. They were invitations from various kind families in the village who had wanted to invite Naruko to dinner or offer her mentorship over the years, but the letters had been misplaced by the disorganized staff. It seems these people were just very forgetful, the Hokage said, looking at the workers. They were keeping all these friendly gestures hidden away. Naruko didn't get angry, instead, she felt a wave of happiness knowing that so many people had reached out to her. She turned to the workers with a determined look. You should really keep better track of these, she said firmly but kindly. Everyone deserves to get their mail, especially when it's an invitation to be friends. The workers felt very silly for being so lazy. They immediately began tidying the office and promised to do a better job. As Naruko looked through the old letters, she found one that was very special, an invitation to visit the village library and learn about her family's history. She smiled, knowing that things were finally starting to change for the better. How would you like Naruko to spend her first afternoon off from missions? The awakening of the storm. Naruko stood in the center of the clearing, her long golden hair tied back in two bright pigtails that bounced as she moved. Her blue eyes sparkled with a sense of purpose. She had just shared a profound vision with her teacher, Kakashi, helping him discover a hidden strength that had slept within his family line for generations. The Hokage had been right to trust her. While some in the village were confused by her unique gifts, Naruko only wanted to use her imaginative spirit and boundless energy to help her friends. What was that? Kakashi asked, his voice steady but filled with wonder. He looked down at his hands, which now hummed with a gentle, rhythmic pulse of energy, like the soft pitter-patter of rain before a summer storm. Naruko beamed at him, her smile bright enough to light up the entire training ground. That was your history, sensei. Naruko explained cheerfully. I used my special connection to the world to help you see the spark inside you. You have the heart of a protector, just like the great hero in the vision. It is not just about being fast or strong, it is about having the courage to stand up for those who cannot stand up for themselves. A new purpose. Kakashi took a deep breath, feeling more refreshed than he had in years. The weary weight that usually sat on his shoulders seemed to have lifted, replaced by a warm, golden glow. I feel lighter, Kakashi admitted, a small, kind crinkle appearing at the corner of his eye. Thank you, Naruko. Your kindness is a gift to this team. Naruko did a little hop of joy. We are a team, Kakashi-sensei. And teams look out for each other. Now that you know about your spark, we can go on our mission to the land of waves and really help Mr. Tazuna build his bridge. Preparation for the journey. The two of them walked back toward the village gates to meet their teammates, Sakura and Sasuke. Naruko felt a surge of excitement. She knew that building a bridge was a wonderful thing, it meant bringing people together and making sure everyone had a safe path to travel. As they reached the gate, Naruko saw Mr. Tazuna waiting. He looked much calmer now, having realized that this group of young heroes was truly dedicated to helping him. Ready to go, Naruko? Sakura asked, offering a friendly wave. Beyond ready. Naruko replied. This is going to be the best adventure ever. We are going to help build something that lasts, and we're going to do it together. With the sun shining down on them and a clear path ahead, Team 7 set off. Naruko led the way with a skip in her step, her heart full of hope and her mind dreaming of all the good they would accomplish in the world. A spark of new beginnings. I had a similar experience, Naruko said with a bright smile. It showed me the incredible legacies of those who came before us. From what I can tell, you have inherited your ancestors' special gifts. I saw a glimpse of what he could do. Why don't you give it a try? Kakashi stood up, feeling a bit wobbly. He was still adjusting to the refreshing rush of energy flowing through his new pathways. Facing a training post, he held out his hand and focused on the core of his new power. Suddenly, a bright, cheerful beam of yellow light shot from his palm, tapping the post with a gentle crackle. Kakashi looked at his hand in wonder and said, "Whoa." From what I can tell, Naruko explained kindly, your ancestor could guide energy from the world around him. Since we want you to always feel your best, I helped your body create a way to store and grow that energy naturally, like a little battery that recharges while you sleep. But remember, it is important to rest so you don't use it all at once. Got it, Kakashi said. But what do we do now? I believe it's time we practice together, Naruko said, checking the sun's position. We have 4.5 hours until our big meeting. Kakashi was about to point out the time, but then he remembered his habit of being a little late. He offered a warm grin from behind his mask. Being early for once felt like a wonderful change. Naruko took a friendly practice stance, and Kakashi did the same. Shimmering sparks danced around Kakashi's fingertips while Naruko focused her energy, her movements becoming quick and fluid. The two began a playful game of tag and practice, filling the clearing with laughter. Hitomi, the faithful fox, simply curled up in the grass for a peaceful nap. New threads and new friends. 4 hours later, Naruko stood catching her breath. Her training clothes were a bit dusty, and her jacket had seen better days, but her eyes were sparkling. Kakashi was tired too, his headband tilted slightly, but he felt lighter than ever. The old, heavy feeling he used to have was gone, replaced by a sense of calm. I think that's enough for today, Naruko panted, wiping her brow. Yeah, Kakashi agreed, leaning against a tree. I think you're right. Now, Kakashi added, looking at their messy outfits, we can't go on a mission looking like we just rolled through a haystack. Naruko tapped her chin in thought, then her face lit up. Come on. I know exactly where we can go for help. Soon, Naruko and Kakashi arrived at a cozy shop in the village. Hitomi waited patiently by the door. As they stepped inside, Naruko saw a familiar face. Tenten? Naruko asked happily. Hi, Naruko. The girl replied with a wave. What brings you here? I'm looking for some new clothes for our journey, Naruko explained. Do you work here? This is my family's shop, Tenten said proudly. Kakashi leaned down and whispered playfully, Naruko, is this your best friend? We're just great friends. The two girls exclaimed at the same time, their faces turning a soft pink. Now, do you have anything sturdy for a long trip? Kakashi asked with a chuckle. Tenten nodded and disappeared into the back. She returned with a beautifully wrapped set for Naruko. My dad wanted you to have this. He said it was made for someone with a big heart. As for you, Kakashi-sensei, let's find you something legendary. As Naruko went to change, Kakashi gave her a supportive thumbs up. 10 minutes later, they were ready. The journey begins. Sasuke, Sakura, and their guest, Tazuna, were waiting by the village gates. Where are they? Sakura wondered aloud. Right here. Naruko called out. Everyone turned to see the pair. Naruko looked wonderful in a sturdy black outfit accented with silver protectors on her arms. Over it, she wore a brilliant crimson cloak with a soft hood. Kakashi looked sharp in a dark shirt and a silver-gray jacket adorned with white patterns that looked like rushing wind. Wow, you both look so different, Sakura said, impressed. We thought a fresh start deserved a fresh look, Naruko said, her blonde pigtails bouncing. The team set off into the lush green forest. As they walked, Naruko noticed something odd on the dry path. She leaned toward Kakashi and whispered, why is there a puddle when the sun has been shining all day? Good eye, Naruko, Kakashi whispered back. It's a trick. Stay alert. Suddenly, two travelers jumped out, trying to startle the group. Before they could cause any trouble, Kakashi quickly used his new energy to create a shimmering shield of light that safely pushed them back. The travelers realized they couldn't win against such teamwork and quickly sat down, realizing their mistake. Tazuna sighed, looking at the ground. I'm sorry. I wasn't honest. My home is in trouble because a mean man named Gato is taking all our supplies. I'm building a bridge to help my people, and he is trying to stop me. Kakashi looked at his students. What do you think? We have to help, Naruko said firmly. Everyone deserves to be happy and safe in their own home. I agree, Sakura added. We can't turn our backs on them. Let's see it through, Sasuke muttered, though he looked determined. Then it's settled, Kakashi said. As they continued their walk, Naruko used her special abilities to sense the path ahead, making sure it was safe for everyone. Suddenly, Hitomi zoomed into the bushes. Naruko followed and found her fox friend happily playing with a small, fluffy white Arctic fox. Oh, look, Naruko giggled, watching the two foxes tumble in the leaves. It looks like Hitomi found a new best friend, too. Sakura watched with a bright smile as the scene unfolded. The fluffy white fox suddenly hopped up from its resting spot near Hitomi and scampered into the woods. Hitomi let out a soft, playful whine, wishing the visitor had stayed longer. Naruko grinned, thinking it was sweet how much Hitomi enjoyed the company of their forest friend. However, Naruko's smile shifted into a look of focus. It was the middle of summer, yet they had seen a winter fox. That meant the fox was likely a clever transformation used as a distraction. Suddenly sensing a change in the air, Naruko called out, "Everyone, stay close together." A giant, heavy sword suddenly sailed through the air toward the group. To everyone's amazement, Kakashi remained perfectly calm. He raised his hands, and a gentle but firm ripple of energy pushed the sword off course, sending it thudding harmlessly into a nearby tree trunk. Sakura, Sasuke, and Tazuna blinked in awe. They had never seen a defense quite like that. "That was very impressive," a deep voice remarked. A tall man appeared beside the sword. He wore a mask over the lower half of his face and a pair of sturdy, patterned trousers. His eyes were sharp and serious. "I suppose you are here to challenge us since the others did not succeed?" Naruko asked, crossing her arms confidently. "I am," the man replied, lifting the massive sword with ease. "My name is Zabuza Momochi." "I am Naruko Uzumaki," she replied, standing tall. "And we are here to protect our friend." Zabuza paused, his eyes narrowing in thought. Uzumaki. That name is legendary. Long ago, the Uzumaki family were known as the greatest guardians of the sea. They were famous for their courage and their spirit. Naruko felt a surge of pride. She had always known her family in Konoha was special, but learning that her heritage was respected across the world filled her with a new sense of wonder. "Now," Zabuza said, "if you let the bridge builder come with me, I will let the rest of you go home safely." "No way," Naruko said, her voice firm and kind but unwavering. "We made a promise to help him finish his bridge, and I never break a promise. You will have to get past me first." "Naruko," Kakashi stepped forward, "I should handle this." "It is okay, Kakashi-sensei," Naruko said with a reassuring nod. "You are still learning your new techniques. I want to show what I have learned through my hard work. I am ready for this." Sasuke let out a huff of disbelief, but Naruko just gave him a playful wink. Zabuza let out a hearty laugh. "You have quite the spirit, young lady. Very well, let's see what you can do." Zabuza moved forward, swinging his large sword in a wide, slow arc. Naruko gracefully leapt over the blade, landing lightly on her feet behind him. She moved with the speed of a summer breeze, tapping Zabuza on the shoulder before he could even turn around. "You are fast," Zabuza noted, genuinely surprised by her agility. "And your movements are as steady as a mountain." Zabuza leapt back to create space. "It seems the students of the Leaf Village are just as talented as the stories say. Let's see how you handle a bit of fog." Hidden mist technique. A thick, cool mist rolled over the area, making it difficult to see more than a few inches in front of them. The atmosphere became quiet and still. Naruko closed her eyes and focused on her other senses. Using her unique ability to sense warmth and energy, she saw the world in bright glowing shapes through the fog. She detected Zabuza moving toward her and raised her arm to block a strike from his sword with a shimmering golden energy shield. "She can see through the mist," Zabuza whispered in amazement. Naruko realized Zabuza was using water duplicates to test her. She moved like a dancer, tagging each duplicate with a burst of bright energy that caused them to harmlessly splash back into puddles of water. When she spotted the real Zabuza, she performed a series of quick hand signs. "Water style, great wave." A magnificent spiral of water rose from the ground, shaping itself into a friendly but powerful wave that carried Zabuza backward, away from the group. He landed gently but firmly against a large oak tree. "How?" Zabuza asked, breathless. "A student should not have such control over the elements." "I practice every single day," Naruko said, walking toward him with a smile. "I want to be a great leader one day, and that means working harder than anyone else." Before the conversation could continue, two small, wooden needles flew through the air, gently tapping Zabuza on the neck. He slumped over into a deep sleep. A young person wearing a blue patterned robe and a porcelain mask appeared in the branches above. "Thank you for helping me find him," the newcomer said in a soft voice. "I am a seeker, and I will take him back home now." "Take good care of him," Naruko said, sensing that this new person was not an enemy, but a protector. The seeker nodded, picked up the sleeping Zabuza, and vanished in a swirl of mist and water. As the fog cleared and the sun began to shine through the trees again, Naruko turned back to her teammates. Sakura and Sasuke were standing perfectly still, their mouths hanging open in total shock. "What is the matter?" Naruko asked, tilting her head curiously. "Naruko." Sakura started, her eyes wide. "How did you become so amazing?" Sasuke finished, finally showing a look of true respect. Naruko just laughed, her golden hair shimmering in the sunlight. "I told you. I have been practicing." The secret of the golden spark. That is my special gift, Naruko said with a bright, sunny smile. I thought Kakashi-sensei mentioned it when we were helping those travelers earlier, or were you just daydreaming about lunch again? How did you learn to use that light? Sasuke asked, his curiosity piqued by the shimmering golden glow he had seen dancing around her earlier. These talents, Naruko chirped, her blue eyes sparkling with determination, are something I've worked really hard to develop. They represent my spirit and my dream to help everyone in the village. It takes a lot of heart to carry a power like this. The sheer confidence in Naruko's voice made Sasuke nod in respect. Sakura, who usually spent her time cheering for Sasuke, found herself nodding along too. She felt truly inspired by how much Naruko had grown and how she used her strength to protect her friends. All right then, team, Kakashi said, patting Naruko on the shoulder with a proud look. Let's keep moving. We have a long journey ahead and plenty of wonders to see. The group set off down the forest path, the leaves crunching happily under their boots. Sasuke watched Naruko as she skipped ahead, wondering if he could learn to find that same kind of inner brightness. He hoped that one day, he could be just as focused on his goals as the blonde girl with the big dreams. A discovery deep below. Meanwhile, in a long-forgotten place deep beneath the rolling hills, a hidden room sat in quiet slumber. It was filled with old gadgets and large, polished glass mirrors that had gathered dust over many seasons. Suddenly, a soft, musical chime echoed through the halls, and a warm amber light began to glow from the walls. A friendly, melodic voice spoke to the empty room. System waking up, the voice sang. Sunlight collectors are now open. Starting a fresh recharge. We are at 50% energy. Total time until full power, 48 hours. Starting a friendly scan of the area. The voice paused, and then a gentle bell rang out. A map of the beautiful elemental countries appeared on a large screen. The map zoomed in on the land of fire, showing 7 bright points of light. 2 were moving toward the mountains, while 5 others were walking together near the river. Discovery. The voice announced cheerfully. Unique energy signatures detected. Checking the ancient archives for a match. Match found. These are the sparks of friendship. Once the power is fully restored, I shall begin preparing the helpful guardian automatons to assist them on their quest. The screen dimmed to a soft glow, showing a steady countdown until the system was ready to help. 47 hours, 59 minutes, 19 seconds. The journey to the land of waves, a new chapter. The next morning, the sun rose over Tazuna's home, casting a golden glow on the quiet village. Naruko woke up feeling a surge of determination. She stepped outside to the clearing where the group had gathered for their morning training. To start, Kakashi said, his voice calm and steady, you will be training with a special exercise. You will learn how to climb trees. But sensei, Sakura said, tilting her head, we already know how to climb trees. Yes, Kakashi replied with a playful glint in his eye, but you will climb them using only your feet. As the others began to practice, focusing their energy to walk up the bark, Naruko stood back. She had already mastered the basics and wanted to challenge herself. She walked toward the nearby river, her footsteps light. With a deep breath, she stepped onto the surface of the water, standing perfectly still as the ripples moved around her boots. Well, Kakashi said, watching her with a nod of approval, it looks like you can train on your own, Naruko. Actually, sensei, she said, her voice dropping to a whisper, I have something new I've been working on. It's a special technique that uses the bright energy of the sky. She showed him a scroll she had been drafting, filled with neat diagrams and notes. Kakashi was impressed by her creativity. Naruko, you have a real talent for invention. A magical discovery. As the day went on, Naruko felt a gentle pulling sensation in her heart, like a soft melody calling from the woods. She followed the feeling until she discovered a hidden cave tucked behind a waterfall. Inside, the air was cool and smelled of fresh rain. In the center of a sparkling grotto sat a large, ancient scroll. As Naruko reached out, she felt a warm, welcoming energy. This was the Raven Summoning Contract, a legendary bond between heroes and the clever birds of the sky. Come, little one, a voice echoed softly. Naruko signed her name with care. Suddenly, in a puff of silver smoke, a magnificent raven appeared. Its feathers shimmered like silk, and its eyes were wise. I am Kumori, the raven said with a polite bow. You have a kind heart and great courage, Naruko. We are honored to help you protect your friends. A plan for peace. Returning to the village, Naruko shared her discovery with Kakashi. She didn't want to fight Zabuza and Haku anymore, she wanted to help them. If they join us in Konoha, they can be safe and use their skills for good, she explained. That night, Naruko sent Kumori with a message of friendship. When the raven returned, he brought back a letter of acceptance. Zabuza and Haku were tired of being lonely and were happy to find a place where they belonged. When the group finally confronted the greedy businessman Gato, they didn't need to use force. With the help of the ravens and their new allies, they showed Gato that the power of friendship and honesty was far stronger than any amount of gold. Gato realized he could not scare the villagers anymore and decided to leave the land of waves forever. A new beginning. With the village safe, Tazuna and the townspeople finished building the Great Bridge. They decided to name it the Great Naruko Bridge to honor the girl who taught them that even the smallest person can change the world with kindness. As the team prepared to head back to the Hidden Leaf Village, Haku walked up to Naruko and gave her a small, hand-woven friendship bracelet. "Thank you, Naruko," Haku said, her eyes bright with joy. "For the first time, we have a real home." Naruko beamed, her blonde pigtails bouncing as she laughed. "That's what friends are for. Let's go home together." And so, the heroes returned to Konoha, not just as a team, but as a family, ready for whatever wonderful adventures the future held. The grand finale. Dear YouTube family, this is all for now. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the lore, make sure to hit that like button and share this video with your fellow shinobi. To stay updated on all things anime and never miss a breakdown, subscribe and turn on notifications to join our growing village. Your support keeps the chakra flowing and allows this channel to reach new heights. Thank you for watching. Regards. Six Path Weeb.